Sounds good. Sounds good. Thanks for having us on today. Very excited to be here. If we could, just real quickly again, I know we just did this a couple of minutes ago, but if you guys could just let me know that I've hit the right buttons and I've got everything enabled correctly. You can see the slide with James on the front, and you can hear my voice. Just type in a yes or a Y. Thank you very much, Gus. Perfect. Perfect. Very good. Excellent. Well, again, I'm Brian Stickney. I'm filling in for James today, and we're going to talk to you a bit about Forex trading. To get things off to a really good start, I'd like to just acknowledge Gus S. You were the very first person to type into chat to let me know that sound is good, that we're broadcasting okay. So if you could do me a favor, Gus, if you could just let Dan know, don't put your email address here into chat for everyone to see, but if you could just let Dan know what your email address is, I'm going to send you $50, and we'll do that via your PayPal account. So just let us know what your PayPal email is. If you don't have PayPal, set one up. You can do that in 2 minutes, and it's worth the $50, right? So we'll send that over to you today. I'm doing that because I want to let everyone know that people that take action reap rewards, right? You got to take action to get rewards. That's the way life works. So we want to always reinforce that. So keep that in mind as we work through the training today. Action takers get benefits, so don't just sit quietly on your hands. I'm going to ask you some questions here and there. Feel free to speak up. If you got questions, put them in. I have a tendency to, when I get excited about something, to start talking really fast. So, and I'm passionate about Forex trading, as James is as well. So there's some pieces as we start building from topic to topic of what I'm going to teach you today that I sometimes get really excited. So, feel free to throw into chat, hey, Brian, pump the brakes, slow down if I start talking too fast, because I do have that kind of natural tendency. And we've got a lot of time today. We've got an hour and 15 minutes to be with you guys, so we'll get some great training in. We're going to lay out some things about how to look at the Forex market a little bit differently than you've probably seen it before, and I'm going to give you a strategy that you'll be applying later today. So really, really good stuff. And I want to make sure that you guys are able to get that. And then we'll have a lot of time to answer questions at the end. All right. So we've decided today to label our as double your Forex profits with half the effort. Now, I know that sounds like a big claim, but it's absolutely we're going to be able to do and show to you today. I'm going to minimize some stuff here too so that I can actually see my screen to make sure that I'm on track. So I'm going to keep your questions over here, but I'm going to minimize the rest of what I've got so I can see everything. Now, I specialize as a currency trader. That's what I do. That's what James does. And what we're particularly fond of trading is trading in the direction of a trend, right? So we're going to teach you how we exploit that edge in this market, in the Forex market. Now, I personally think that Forex is one of the easiest markets out there of all of them to trade. And the reason I think it's so easy is because I have a technique that we're going to show to you today. So if you're interested in really getting a genuine edge that really does make trading a lot easier, puts the odds significantly in your favor, then that's what I hope to show you this morning. Now, interesting point about this webinar is that of all the people in the room right now, for those of you that trade Forex, statistically, over 98% of you are making a mistake every time you enter a trade. That means you're missing out on some significant profits, or maybe even falling short as a direct result of that error that you're making. So basically, for about every 1,000 Forex traders, we've got over 980 of them that are making this same huge mistake. So let's kick it off. I'm going to ask you a question. All right, if I put you down, my slide will advance here. There we go. If I put you down in front of your trading platform and you saw this chart, if you looked and all you could see was this right here, what would you want to know, right? You probably want to have a high degree of confidence as to which way price is going to go next, right? Use the chat box. Let us know. You can let us know what you're thinking here. But you can, then at the very right-hand side, there's a screen. Just type in, let us know what you'd want to be able to do, right? Do you think that it'd be a pretty valuable skill to have if you'd be able to very quickly, with just a glance, know with a high degree of probability what direction price was going to go next? Think that'd be something important to know. Yeah, you want to make money with it. Yeah, you wanna know what's going on. Some people are taking a guess. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. Kind of mixed results there. End of the day, folks would like to know where price is going to go, right? So the thing is, what if you looked at a pair chart? Whatever your favorite pair is, and Euro USD is probably the most widely traded pair out there. But again, would you like to know, with a high level of confidence, was it going to be sideways today, choppy? So you could stay out, not get caught up in that just chop that kind of has the tendency to bounce us out of the market. Good skill to have, right? If that's a good skill, let me know. Absolutely. Let me know if that's a good skill you'd like to have. I mean, more yeses coming in. We've got some more coming in here. Good. I mean, I'd be worried, honestly, if you weren't answering yes to being able to have that skill. I'd be a little bit worried about that. So one more quick question, kind of an obvious one. Would you like to know in advance when the market's going to be trending? Would you like to know when and where those trends are going to happen so you could get on them as early as possible and then ride those trends for the maximum profits? Is that a skill you'd like to have? Yeah, of course. I mean, honestly, again, I'd be worried if it wasn't. There's kind of those toss-up, T-ball questions here. But I mean, can you imagine how much bigger profits would be if you're able to do that, if you could spot those trends in advance? Now, it's a resounding yes across the board. I mean, again, those were kind of toss-up questions. But you all agree that it's invaluable to have the ability to do those things, and those are skills that every trader wants to have. If you can't do those things at the moment, that simply means that you're making one of the mistakes I mentioned a minute ago, and it's costing you dearly. So right now, you're doing something wrong in your Forex trading that's preventing you from having those skills. Now, the good news is, by the end of the training today, you're going to know a spectacularly simple trick that you can implement immediately that's going to enable you to do all of those three things that we just talked about. I know it's a big claim, but if you commit to staying with me, that's what you're going to get. So today, what I'm going to teach you, you're going to learn how to identify at a glance the way that price on any currency pair chart is most likely to go next so that you can start increasing your win rate. You're going to be winning more often than you're not. That's a big deal. You're going to learn how to spot trends, even as they're just starting, so you can get in early and increase that average profit per trade to get bigger wins. So you're going to increase the amount of money that you're making on your winning trades. You're also going to learn how to avoid that sideways, choppy, range-bound market so you can avoid getting whipsawed and taking those unnecessary losses. Okay, so those are the things we're going to cover today. I'm going to try and teach you something that's going to transform you as a trader, and you're going to walk away being more confident about trading Forex than you've ever been before. And at that point, you'll know, hopefully, you'll know that you can finally beat the market. Now, here's why this is so important to you. Forex has grown by almost a third in the last 3 years, 32.5%, right? The pie is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So, it's never been easier to take your fair slice. It's the biggest market with the most liquidity. It's got the easiest access of any other market out there, fantastic volatility, consistent trends, and more opportunities than any other market in history. It's literally, because of its size, because of the consistency of it, it's never been easier to profit from Forex. If you know what you're doing, obviously. You have to know what you're doing. Yet, increasing, growing in size, the failure rate among amateur traders is still around 98%. Market gets easier to trade. You would think that we'd have profitable traders increasing, but they're not. They're not increasing proportionally to the growth of the market. People are still struggling. They're still failing, just as they always have, despite the fact that there's more money being available and the market's easier to trade. Now, I feel like that's because the techniques and the strategies that the vast majority of amateur traders are taught are missing one vital ingredient. It's something that people ignore. Maybe they forget it. Maybe they just simply don't know about it. And as a result, trading kind of becomes like playing roulette. I used to live in Vegas, lived there for 14 years, loved it. I loved watching the kind of social experiment around the roulette table. It was always amazing to me how people thought that they could, beat the odds at roulette. You can't. Any odds or any edge that they think they have by using kind of these old techniques are just thrown right out the window. Now, you probably know that for yourself because you've probably been trying to use those techniques that most people use, and the results might be less than impressive, right? Okay, well, tiny handful of people know the correct methods, and I'm going to teach you one of those correct methods right now, and it's going to put you at a supreme advantage because there's trillions of dollars available every day, but only the few people with the knowledge and skills are able to take a share out of that pie, right? The winning traders live off the losses of losing traders. That's just a fact, you know. So do you want to be the sucker that's funding somebody else's lifestyle, or do you want one living off the trades of the losers, right? You have to kind of pick a side, for lack of a better term. You want to know which side you're going to be on. Trading is a zero-sum game. You're either going to be a winner or you're going to be a loser. There's no in between. You've got to pick which side of the camp you're going to be on. So the edge I'm going to show you today is going to put you on that winner side of the table, and that's where we want to be. So you'll be able to apply this edge to any style of trading that you want within Forex. It's completely versatile, and it's completely flexible, and that's really a big piece of it. So again, real quickly, I'll tell you a little bit about me before we get into actually the meat of things here. Again, my name is Brian Stickney. I started trading in 2008, had fairly mixed results. You know, I traded a little bit of everything. I traded Forex, I traded some options, and ultimately Forex was what I gravitated to, focusing that in middle of '09. And had some, you know, big ups, had some, you know, fairly big downs. You know, like a lot of traders out there, I wasn't consistent, and ultimately I found that I didn't know what I didn't know until I met James, and this is going back to 2012 when I started trading with James and learning from him, and then, you know, kind of grew with his organization over time. And James really taught me how the markets actually work in Forex. Forex is a very different market to other markets that are out there. We're going to talk a little bit about that here in a second. Forex is very, very, very different, and because it's different, we have to look at things in a slightly different way. And he gave me that advantage. He showed me what I should be looking at in Forex, and it really helped change the way that I trade and that I look at the markets. That picture behind me is pretty interesting. Trading has resulted in a lifestyle that's been very interesting for me. My family and I over the last 5 years have been kind of nomads. And last time I gave this presentation was a few months back, and we were at a property down in Costa Rica. And that was actually my actual view before I went on to do the presentation. You know, we lived in Costa Rica for a couple of years. We lived in Buenos Aires for almost a year. We've traveled up and down Central and South America. And that's, you know, just something that having kind of a mobile lifestyle with being able to trade, as long as you're consistent. It's not like you just simply set something and go take off traveling. You've got to be consistent every day doing your work. You know, it's not like a set and forget lifestyle. You've still got to, you know, have some time frames around it. But being able to trade and do this for a living, you're able to have a lifestyle that's fairly fluid if you want it to be. And we're settled now in Texas, but you know, since my son's going to school. But it's been an interesting last few years. We've done something that we didn't think we'd be able to do. So it was really interesting. But you know, James, my trading partner, is my mentor and my trading partner now. He's a 15-year veteran of Forex, and the method that he taught me isn't something that he just came across one day. He learned how to trade right from the source. He learned from bankers and banks, and that's a really interesting story. It's really more fascinating than mine because he came into this kind of a roundabout way. And you know, just a bit about James. He got his start out of high school by going into the Royal Marine Corps. He's English. James lives in London, and he spent 10 years in the armed forces in a fairly elite specialist unit. This is him when he had a shaved head. He was learning some skills that ultimately put him in an interesting position when he left the Marines. He left the Marines. He became a bodyguard, and that was an interesting kind of step for him because being a bodyguard, it put him in contact with some very wealthy and powerful people on the planet. He looked after billionaires on the Forbes risk list. He looked after members of royalty. And, of course, he guarded the odd celebrity. That's actually over here in the white shirt with the sunglasses. That's James when he was Elton John's bodyguard for a while. This is him heroically shielding Elton from that little girl. But, you know, we're allowed to show you these pictures because these are public domain. They were being snapped by the paparazzi. What we can't show you are the pictures of his big clients. And the people that he worked for are of the highest echelons, a very secret kind of world elite, if you will. So there's confidentiality clauses that are involved and put him in a lot of trouble if we gave out names. But ultimately, his connection with these ultra-wealthy, ultra-powerful people, very secretive people, led him to the uncovering of what we're going to talk about today. It involves a billionaire hedge fund manager, reclusive millionaire, and the head foreign exchange trader at an international bank in London. I know that kind of sounds like a joke, right? 3 millionaires walk into a bar, but I mean it's nuts, because the term insider secrets really doesn't do the story justice. I'm not going to get into detail about that right now. It's going to become more apparent as we walk through the training, and you'll see everything kind of slots together. But what I wanted to do right now is just give you a bit of information and about James, who I am, where we come from. And then from there, as we go through the training, hopefully what we teach you today is going to be that definitive turning point in your trading career, at least your Forex trading career, because what we're talking about today is specific to Forex. As I mentioned, it's a different market from the others out there. So now I'm going to assume that if you're here, you're attending the training today, you're probably not a multi-millionaire trader. You're here to learn, and that's because you want to improve your trading, and you'd quite like to be successful at it. Right? If I made the wrong assumption, forgive me, but I'm just assuming that most people here haven't quite reached that level of Forex trading success yet. So what's the problem? What's holding you back? What's preventing you from achieving success? And that's the big question. Trading looks really simple. On the surface, it looks really simple, but there's something missing. There's something that you haven't quite grasped. There's something you haven't understood, or maybe you haven't seen. There's that one key element that you need to make that breakthrough. So, type yes, type something in the chat box. Let me know if you've ever asked yourself that question. What am I missing? What don't I know? What do they, the big air quotes, right? What do they know that I don't know? What are they doing that I'm not doing? What's that missing piece? I mean, be honest, in your frustration, have you ever wondered those things? Have you ever asked yourself those questions? I mean, I know, again, I mentioned when I first started out, it looked really easy. I mean, when I first started trading in 08, all you really had to do was buy euros, and then kind of things changed, right? Things stopped out. I got knocked for a loop. We've all been there. We've all asked those questions. We all start realizing there's something we don't know. We all have that same experience, the same frustrations, and we all wonder why we're repeatedly failing. James had that same question too. He had that exact same question. The difference was he didn't have to speculate about those answers. He was able to actually ask someone that could help him out. He had the advantage of working for a really well-connected multimillionaire who liked James, liked him a lot, and knew that he was trying to learn how to trade Forex in his spare time. And the guy just finally went up and asked him one day. I saw James in the office and saw his little laptop and said, "Hey man, listen, I have some folks owe me a favor." And he introduced James to the head foreign exchange trader at an international bank in London. Basically said, "Listen, you guys meet. I'm going to introduce you, see what they can do for you, ask the questions, maybe it'll help you get a leg up." And after James did that, the guy took him and said, "Hey, I'm going to introduce you to this other guy. He's a hedge fund manager. Get some advice for them, see what they can do for you." So ultimately, what ended up happening was James got direct from the horse's mouth, the real truth about Forex trading, how bank trading actually works, right? He got that real truth direct from the horse's mouth, and it completely smashed a lot of those myths and misconceptions that most amateur traders believe. And understanding that helped to explain why the results up to that point had been so catastrophically bad, why consistently failing to attain any level of success, no matter what system or what strategy was being used. So the bank trader, the hedge fund manager, taught him that missing link. So let's get to that. What is that missing link? This is the first aha moment coming up right here. So when you trade, when you're getting ready to trade Forex, what do? You sit down, you pull up a chart, right? I'm going to try to slow down because, like I said, I get kind of excited and I talk fast. But you pull up a chart. This is what you do. You have a chart of that pair that you want to trade. You might have some trend lines on it. You might have some moving averages, MACD, support resistance, fibs, whatever. It doesn't really matter. But at the end of the day, this is what you've got. Now, here's the thing. When you look at this, where's price going to go next? Do you know? No, of course not. You don't know. Where is it more likely to go? It's not a rhetorical question. I'm honestly asking, where's price going to go next? You know, that's what we all want to know. But the thing is, this currency pair chart with that information isn't telling us too much. Despite what most people think, it's impossible to know because that individual pair by itself is almost worthless. I mean, I say almost. There's information here, but it reveals practically nothing about the market. Now, people typically, when they come into Forex, I did this when I was first starting out, we trade Forex in the same way that we trade stocks and commodities, which kind of makes sense, right? And the charts look the same. They all contain price bars. They all, have that high, low, open, and close. When we first look at how the data is presented to us, it looks like what we've been used to seeing in other marketplaces, right? So this Euro USD chart, at face value, it looks the exact same. High, open, lows, high, low, open and close, bars up and down, whatever it might be. It looks like we're getting the same level of information on both of these, but that's not really true. The thing is, if you trade the Euro USD or US yen or whatever it might be, any other chart out there, that's the first fundamental mistake that you're making. You're trying to trade from a chart. And don't get me wrong, we need the chart, but it doesn't contain everything that we need. Forex, as I mentioned before, is not like any other market that's out there. So the charts are not like other charts. I'm just going to pause kind of for dramatic effect on that. But if you were to trade a stock, something like, or a commodity like gold or oil, all the price information you need about that instrument is on the chart, right? You've got everything there in front of you, and you can trade it with whichever indicators you desire. However, if you want to trade the Euro USD, this chart has almost no information that you actually need. Now, why do I say that? Well, is the Euro USD a thing? No, it's not. The Euro USD is not a standalone entity. Gold is a standalone entity. Oil is a standalone entity. Apple is a standalone entity. But the Euro USD is just an exchange rate. It's the exchange between the Euro and the USD. The Euro is one thing by itself. The USD is another thing by itself. They're two separate markets in their own right. So the Euro USD chart that we're looking at is simply telling us the exchange rate if we traded one for the other. So it'd be the same thing if we made up this hypothetical chart of gold, oil, it'd be like pairing those together. Gold is its own market. Oil is its own market, right? So the gold oil chart would only be telling us the exchange rate if we wanted to swap one for the other. So take that a little step further. If you were going to try and predict where the price of our fictional, gold oil chart was going to go, what would you want to look at? Would you look at a chart in isolation, or would you drill down and maybe look at the gold market first, and then look at the oil market and see what they were doing? Was one going up? Was one going down? If the gold market was going up because the price of gold was increasing, and the oil market was going down because the price of oil was falling, then which direction do you think that hypothetical gold oil chart might be going? Hopefully you can see how that makes sense. You'd rather buy a rising commodity and sell a falling commodity, right? So when you trade the Euro USD, what you really should look at is the Euro market first, then have a look at the USD market and see which one's going up, which one's going down. That way, you've got a better idea of where that exchange rate is going to go and drive that pair. That way you're going to have a better idea of what that pair is more likely to do, right? Hope that makes sense. I'm kind of trying to slow down. It's like I get excited about this and I want to just, go, but it's really important because the thing is, Forex is not made up of individual charts, right? It's made up of currencies. I'm a currency trader. I'm not a pair chart trader. I'm not a Euro USD trader. I trade currencies, all of them. George Soros, let's take it up 5 notches. George Soros, he's a currency trader. He trades currencies. He's not a pair chart trader. He doesn't just trade the euro pound. He trades currencies, right? That's a big distinction, and I hope that you guys will. I'm trying to slow down so you can really understand that. There's 8 major world currencies. There's the euro, the USD, the pound, the yen, the CAD, the Swissy, the Aussie, and the New Zealand, right? They're all separate markets, all separate. When we combine those, we get 28 different currency pairs, okay? 28 different charts that you could potentially be looking at. So if you just look at one pair chart, if you just look at the odd CAD, for example, that's all you're going to trade. All you're looking at is 1/28th of the market. That's 3.5%. Is that enough? Is that enough data to make your decision on? Probably not. So I hope that by now you can see that this chart has almost no value on it, right? It's missing 96.5% of the information. The majority of the information that you need that's actually influencing that exchange rate is out here in the wider part of the marketplace, right? There's other stuff going on. So if you want to trade the Euro USD, you need to know what's going on with the euro out there in the real market. You need to know what's going on with the USD out there in the real market. There's 2 separate currencies that we want to swap. So which one's strong? Which one's weak? Which one is a rising asset? Which one's a falling asset, right? Now, if you're a Forex trader, I hope that this has been one of those first of many aha moments for you. Light bulb's just gone off above your head maybe, and you're starting to understand why most people have never been able to achieve consistency and success in Forex, right? They've been looking at it with a very, very limited view. They haven't been trading with all the information that they need, right? So it's like looking at one piece of a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle and then expecting to know what that entire picture is, right? We're gonna pick out this piece and look at the kind of combination of yellows and greens and go, oh yeah, I know that. That's Rome. Yeah, it's just impossible, right? But that's what happens when we're trying to trade with only a chart, right? So no wonder we struggle, which is going to lead us to the next piece, right? Most people, because they keep failing, they start to think that the game is rigged against them. They start to think the big boys, those market makers, are out to get them, and that the market makers are out there manipulating price and hunting their stops, and they have all of these big conspiracy theories out there. They think that they act against the little guy, and that's why retail traders find it so hard to profit. It's not. When you sit down, like James did, and actually talk to the head of a bank, the head foreign exchange trader at an international bank, you talk to the head market maker at one of the biggest banks in the world, they laugh when they hear these conspiracy theories. I mean, the Forex market is the most level playing field out there in the world. It's the least manipulated. It's the fairest market that you could ever trade in. Now, as I say that, I know that many of you, and this may come up in chat, so I'll just go ahead and get it out there. You might recall that, about a year back, there were a lot of banks that have been fined for price fixing in Forex, and we can talk about that in Q&A. The short answer, though, is that was with LIBOR, and it really was nothing like the press reported it to be, and it certainly wasn't price manipulation as people think it was. It didn't affect us at all as retail traders. In fact, it was quite good for us. There's really no price manipulation against the little guy in Forex. No one's out to get you. No one's out to get you here or in any other market, really. But Forex, it really is the easiest market in the world to profit from if you know what you're doing. Of course, you could choose to believe that the big boys are out to get you, but I mean, honestly, if you truly believed that, you might as well just give up. Because if it was true, would you ever have a chance of succeeding? I mean, the answer is no. I don't mean to be harsh, but it's true. If you truly believe that, then that everybody's out to get you and the big boys have the game rigged, there'd be no chance for you and me to make it. More sensibly, you could just accept that the reason you struggled is because you aren't looking at the right things. Now, when I found that out from James, I felt a really huge wave of relief come over me because it made me realize that, hey, I've been looking at things wrong. I start to change my view. I can finally start to make money. I can start to be a successful trader at last, right? So would you agree that the example, the explanations I've just given you about looking at individual currencies make sense, perspective a bit on that marketplace? You see how that logic works, right? Yeah. So the theory by itself is good. We've shown you kind of a little bit, that tip of the iceberg theory, but that's really not much practical use to you. So what we're going to keep doing is keep building on that. So we've talked about what we should be looking at in Forex. So let's just keep building on that and start to understand how we can start to use that in our trading from now on. So as you know, if you want to trade a pair like the Euro USD, something that you're going to need to know is what's happening with the Euro. That's the first thing we need to know. Then we need to know what's happening with the USD. They're two separate instruments. So what professional traders do is they look at the individual currencies. They split the market down, 8 major currencies, and they assess each one by itself, very much like this. Now, don't worry. I already saw the question come in. I think it was Alex. Yeah, Alex asked the question. How do I get that? How do we check it? Well, I'll show you how to do it in just a second. In fact, I'll give you a link. I'll put into chat towards the end. That's going to give you a free tool that you can find on our website that'll help to just do it for you, basically. But when you look at individual currencies like this, the staggering opportunity in front of you probably is pretty obvious. I would hope it is, because you can see at a glance which currencies are strong and trending up, which ones are weak and trending down. So instead of just looking at one chart, 1/28th of the market, we can actually look at the 8 major currencies and see what they're actually doing. So even when you make that cardinal mistake of just trading off of that one chart, you now know how easy it can be to profit when that pair is trending, right? The money falls in your lap when it's trending. Well, how much easier would it to be if you could actually find a strong currency in an uptrend and then pair that against a weak currency in a downtrend? It'd be significantly better than trying to just look at one currency pair and hope to get in on the trend that's there, right? We'd be able to actually pick out something that's moving as opposed to just looking at that one chart and hoping that something happens, right? So what's going to happen? If we put a strong currency against a weak currency, what are we going to see when we see those two opposite trending currencies? It's going to be moving. It's going to be moving pretty fast. So hopefully you can see how powerful that is. You've got a strong currency, weak currency. You pair them against another. You've got the absolute best trend in the market. You've bought strength, and you've sold weakness. You've bought the asset that's rising, and you've sold that asset that's falling in value. So that's the fundamental principle of almost every trading strategy in history, right? You're taking advantage of it. You're buying strength, and you're selling weakness. That's exactly what we want to do. So let's stop for a second and look at this, okay? Let's say we've got the strong currency, we've got a weak currency, so we know what's going on there. But let's say you see a flat currency. You see a flat currency, so you see another flat currency. Hey, I'm not going to get into those two because it's going to be flat. They're neither of them going anywhere. Range bound and flat, probably just chopping up and down in a very, very tight range. Just stay away from it. It's not going anywhere. Let's just avoid the potential for loss, right? I mean, have you ever wondered why some people find it so easy to trade while others find it so hard? It's because at the end of the day, you've been locked away in a small corner of the market looking at more or less worthless information on a single pair chart. You've been trading in the dark. You've been using 3.5% of the market information. That makes it pretty difficult, right? We've been using all of it. we've been using 100% of what's available in the market. So of course, it makes it a bit easier for us to understand what's going on and ultimately get into currency trades that are going to have the best opportunity to move for us, right? We're using 28 times more information than you are. You know, we're doing the right things. We're looking at it the right way. We've been taught to do that. It's not like we just came up with that. We were taught to look at it the right way. So of course it makes it a bit easier, and it gives us kind of an unfair advantage to compare to what other people are doing. Now, this should be, I hope it is, if you're a Forex trader, an earth-shattering revelation for you, not revolution, revelation for you. Because up until now, you might have been thinking, man, this is tough. It's impossible. You might have been thinking of giving up. But now, being able to actually see the truth, it should be a bit clearer about the unfair advantage that the pros have versus the average retail trader that's looking at charts versus individual currencies, right? It makes a big difference. You're not at a disadvantage. The game's not rigged against you. There's no conspiracy to keep you down. All you have to do is trade strength against weakness, and we're showing you how to do that. So we're going to keep moving. We're going to keep ramping up. We're going to keep putting in more bits of information here so that you can actually have a strategy that you can apply and use this, okay? So if we want to be able to see individual currencies, then we need a tool to do that, right? We need a tool that splits the market down for us, kind of like what we're seeing here. Now, it just so happens, like I mentioned, we have a really good one on our website, and it's free. We have our basic strength chart, looks just like what you're seeing here, and it's totally free. You can go to the site, you can go to our tools section, and you'll see the currency strength indicator, and you can begin using that. As I said, at the end, I will put in a link so that you're able to go to that after training today and start looking at it and start playing around with it, see how it works and kind of how it correlates back to your charts and so on and so forth. But what the tool does is it takes each individual currency, like this example we've been using, and then it overlays them on top of each other so that you've actually got a very simple and easy way to analyze the marketplace, right? You've got a really good tool that allows you instantly, a simple glance, to compare all those 8 major currencies to see which ones are strong, which ones are weak, which ones are flat. It's pretty cool, right? So the beauty of that is that you can use it and you can apply it to any system that you want. I mean, whatever system you currently trade, whatever style you currently prefer, whatever time frame you're currently trading on, you can still go ahead and apply individual currency strength and analysis, and you're going to improve that current method tenfold, very easily tenfold, right? It's just a fundamental principle. It's so robust, and it works with every style and every strategy that you can even imagine out there. Trading strength against weakness is nothing new. It's the simplest and it's the most reliable fundamental principle since the markets began, right? We buy strength, we sell weakness. It doesn't get any simpler than that. And it's always worked, and it always will work. It's until the end of time. As long as there's markets, that principle is going to be. It doesn't matter how the market conditions change, whether they go into a sideways range or what it might be. If they go sideways, currencies are flat, you see it, right? You see it. You stay. If they go back into trends, you see it. You can get in. You see, hey, this currency's trending. This currency's trending down. I'm gonna trade those two. You see it. It's the power of the technique of actually looking at the full market. If you're just looking at one piece of the market, 1/28th of the market, you're not going to see that. You're waiting for something to happen on that one chart, and you're missing all the other opportunities that are out there across the board. That's a really big deal. You're able to see it very, very quickly. So let's continue on. Let's get some more education here. Let's dive in a bit more and talk about a quick and easy system that you can start using to apply currency strength, right? You can start this, tomorrow morning, right as the markets open. Whether you trade the London session, US session, whatever it might be, you can start applying this with that next session opening. So no doubt you've heard breakout strategies. Go on any forum, look at the London breakout, New York breakout. They're some of the simplest and most popular trading strategies that are out there. The way it works, if you're not familiar with it, is basically when a new financial center opens, like London New York, what you do is you simply bracket an order in. You put a bracket above and a bracket below the open price. If price breaks, below, out of that range, you're going to sell it. If price rises real quickly, breaks out of that range, you're going to buy it. So the idea of a breakout strategy is to try to take advantage of early session momentum, right? Whether, there's new sessions throughout the day. Forex trades 24 hours, 5 days a week. So there's a new session opening. So London opens, you've got a new session. 8 a.m. New York time, the New York session begins, you've got a new session, so on and so forth, right? Very, very effective way to do it. So anyway, it's very effective. It's been around forever. But try to imagine how much more effective it could be if, instead of just trying to put that breakout strategy on a random chart, you could actually look at a currency pair where it's a strong currency matched against a weak currency. So instead of just trying to focus on one currency pair, like the Euro USD, as we keep using that as an example, instead of just putting it on the USD and hoping something happens, why not actually look at what's going on in the market, find a currency that's strong, trending up prior to the open of the session, look at one that's weak, and then pair those two together, right? One morning you might trade the Euro Yen, next day you might trade the pound USD when the conditions are different. You're going to trade where the market tells you the best opportunity to trade is. And that's a big thing with trading, right? We have to look for the best opportunity. We don't just trade to trade. We don't just pick something and trade it. We're looking for we want to only trade when the best opportunity exists out there. And this way, by doing this, we're going to be trading in the direction of the highest probability move. That's pretty exciting. That's exciting stuff. I'm kind of move this out of the way so I can see what's going on down here. But if we're always trading, let's say the Aussie versus the USD, you might be in a situation like this at session open. It's not doing anything. It's not giving you a chance to ever implement that breakout strategy. So we're going to look for currencies that are actually moving, implement a strategy on those currencies. That's going to give us the best opportunity to trade, right? I moved a chat box around and I got away from my market. So take a look at the strength tool again, right? All we have to do, we look at the strength tool in the morning, right as that new session is opening. Whichever session you want to trade, whether it's if you're across the world, you want to trade London, you want to trade Tokyo, you want to trade US, whatever it might be. Take a look at the tool, go to our website, use that tool, have a look at the market's opening, whichever session. Then you're going to identify the best moving strong currency, and you're going to match that against the best moving weak currency. Then you find that pair chart, and you fill out the breakout, okay, in the direction that it's moving here. Right. So if we see the euro moving strong against the CAD, then we're going to be buying euro CAD, correct? Okay. So we're going to take the breakout in that direction instead of just, kind of guessing. This is going to give us the best opportunity for a trade that has the potential to move in our direction. And that's what we need to see, right? So just stop, think for a second, think about what this is going to do to your trading. I mean, imagine the confidence you have at this point. Because now, instead of being caught up in just that one currency pair, we're starting to be able to spot the trends and avoid when we have those choppy ranges. It's really a big deal. I mean, picture the end of your day. Picture your results after you started implementing that technique. You're no longer just kind of taking a shot in the dark. It's more relaxing, and it's more profitable at the end of the day. And this is the way that James trades. This is the way that I trade. This is the way that most professionals trade. I mean, like I said, analyzing individual currency strengths can be applied to any system that you want. And we just explained the breakout strategy. That's a very simple and easy way to demonstrate how easy this can be. But again, I mean, you can apply this to any system, and it's going to improve your results instantly. We were just showing how it would improve results with a breakout strategy. It's really cool. It's really simple. It's easy to use. It makes your life as a trader much more profitable, much more enjoyable, and ultimately much more reliable. Your win rate goes up, and that's incredible. It happens almost instantly because you're actually laser focused on the strongest currencies against the weakest currencies, and that stacks the odds in your favor, right? Gives you kind of the advantage of almost like playing with loaded dice. The thrill of entering a trade and knowing that it has a higher probability of winning than another, right? In doing this, you're going to be able to suck more profit out of the winning trades. You're going to catch those trends. You're going to have the best opportunity to find trades that are going to run further and faster, enabling you to get better chunks back into your account. And the really best part about it is you start reducing those losing streaks, those drawdowns, because you're able to stay clear of markets that aren't moving. We need a market to move in order to make money, right? So that becomes a thing of the past, getting caught in those range-bound markets, because we see it up front, right? We see it up front. Now, don't get me wrong. You're going to take losses. There is no system in the world that can guarantee you an outcome of a trade, right? There's nothing. The trading conditions, the market, they can change instantly for any reason. So I'm not suggesting that what I've just taught you and shown you is going to give you 100% wins. It doesn't, but it does allow you to stack that odds in your favor. It's going to give you the best probability of winning, and that means that over time, your wins are going to be much greater than your losses. Those losing streaks are going to be shorter. That emotional roller coaster that you often have with those swings up and down on the equity curve gets eradicated. You become a much more consistent trader. And with a higher win rate, fewer losses, you become calmer and you become less stressed, and you start enjoying trading again. And that's what it's all about, right? We want to have fun doing this. We're all doing this for some big why. We all have a different why of why we're trading, but we're all doing this for some reason. We don't want it to be a high stress thing. So this is a way to start eliminating that stress. No matter what system you trade, it's just an added filter that helps you start getting into better trades and have a better opportunity to move for you. Doesn't matter what the rules are, doesn't matter what index you use, what time frame you trade. Just add currency strength analysis to it as a final confirmation. Enter with your normal rules, but you're going to see results begin to get better and better because you're taking advantage of more of the market. So check out that free currency strength tool on the website and watch it at the beginning of a session. Look for which currency is strong, getting stronger. Look for which one is weak and getting weaker. Then find that pair and see how it goes, right? Find that pair and trade it with your usual trading method. That one simple step is going to do incredible things for your results. That was that one big aha that I had with James. That was the first thing, right? It sounds at the surface really, really simple, but that's what it's about. Trading is simple. That's one of the keys to trading success. The best traders keep things simple. They incorporate the right things, look at the right things in the marketplace, keep it simple, use good money management, and that is what takes them, on that nice ride to increasing returns. Now, I know you guys are all, hoping I'm going to give away another $50 right now, right? But I'm not. I'm going to do something actually a little bit better than that. I mentioned up front that people that take action reap rewards, right? We told you that. So we're going to actually give you a pretty cool bonus today. And in a moment, we're going to get into the Q&A. I know there's a couple of questions that have been coming in. I'm going to answer those about Forex trading, about currency strength trading. So, as we get to this, we'll probably have about 10-15 minutes left over at the end where we can actually talk and really dive into those questions and, get some good information out there. We might even pop over if we have time and just see what's been happening in the marketplace today and see what's happening there. But, obviously, what I've been going over with you today is really the tip of the iceberg. This is a high-level, really quick overview of one way to trade with currency strength. We've actually got quite a bit more to give and a lot more to put out there. So what we've actually done is we have a 5-hour training experience where we literally break down the complete process and we teach you a full system, including giving you a number of tools that are going to help you get that additional maximum benefit out of the trading method. So if you want the more detailed trading, you're going to love it. If you really want to dive in to learn how to trade Forex, learn how the markets actually work, you're going to love what we have to offer here. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to get into some horrible sales pitch, and whatnot. I'm just going to simply show you what we've got, and then If you'd like to take action, we would love to have you do that, because this is actually much, much better than a $50 giveaway. $50 is pretty cool, but this is way better than a $50 giveaway. So what we've done is we've packaged all of our introduction training into a 10 video lesson kit, and it's going to teach you everything you need to know so that you can start to operate like a professional in the. So each lesson is about 25 minutes long. We keep the sessions pretty short. Some are actually shorter. Some are about 12 minutes. We keep them short because we found that's the most effective way to absorb the material, right? Each short lesson gets crammed with what actually you need to know and gets right to the chase. And we've just kind of stripped it back to the crucial points that you need to really be that profitable trader. Okay. Lesson 1, it unveils the truth about Forex, how those markets actually work. It gets into way greater depth than I've been able to talk to about that. I haven't even gotten into how the markets move and what moves the markets in Forex and what really goes on there behind the scenes. Because we need to understand that. We need to understand what the big players are doing and how that market actually works so that we can implement the best system possible, right? So that's lesson 1, and that's the very first thing that comes out when you subscribe, right? It gives you instant ability to start seeing the potential, the staggering opportunity in the marketplace. Lesson 2 goes into how prices really move, and it reveals a mathematical, indisputable fact that proves the prices are more likely to move in one direction than another. That's a really big deal. Understanding that, again, the foundation of trading. Imagine the thrill of knowing with certainty that price is more likely to move one way than the other. I mean, when you understand it, it's kind of mind-blowing when you really step back and understand how things happen in the marketplace and what causes the moves to occur. Okay. Lesson 3 gets into focusing on trade exits. And money's made or lost when you actually exit the trade, not when you enter. So before we go any further, we make sure that we teach you those rare skills that allow you to control profit over loss on every single trade. That's huge, right? You make the money when you go out of the trade. Everything in between is not concrete yet. Okay. Lesson 4, it shows you how to utilize that underused resource of professional money management. So that way you can avoid those painful losses that crush many traders' dreams. Many people are attracted to Forex because of the amount of leverage and the low barrier of entry that is the market, the Forex market. But we have those low barriers of entry because of the opportunity to leverage up. And very often amateur traders don't use good money management and over leverage and over risk, and we teach you how to overcome that. We teach you some very basic rules that are going to maximize your gains but minimize your losses, right? We've got to focus on risk avoidance. That's what we want to do. That's when we're trading. We want to be cognizant of our risk. Okay, lesson 5, complete tutorial on using that currency strength analysis tool. Now we hit that 30,000-foot overview of what it is and how it works. We've talked about it today, but there's more to it. We want to really dig in. We want you to understand how it works, what it looks at, how it makes the calculations, because that way you've got a total unwavering confidence in its accuracy and its reliability. That's a big piece. When you've got a tool that you're trading with, you want to know that it's right. Right, so we don't just give you a tool and kind of hide everything. We tell you how it's created so that you know what it's looking at and how it's doing the math, so that it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. I mean, this advanced lesson on currency strength analysis is what it is. Lesson 6 gives you that basic system rules. So as I mentioned, we can't just kind of teach you the overview. We also want to give you something that's going to allow you to start using it, applying it. So we give you some basic rules of when to enter. We start helping you develop those skills for correct market analysis and that correct trade entry. So you'll be shown exactly what to look for and what conditions dictate a trade entry. Okay. Lesson 7, we spend some time with you walking through those various trade entry examples. We're going to dig into quite a few examples so that the pattern becomes ingrained in your mind, and you start to recognize those conditions instinctively, and you can start trading without any kind of hesitation. Then in lesson 8, we build up on that some more, and we add to the money management piece. We talk about stop orders, show how to enter those into the system so that you know exactly how much money to risk on each trade and precisely where to place those pending stop orders, right? That's a big thing. Lesson 9 goes into activating the power of a trailing stop so that you can start locking in profit. This reduces your risk as the trade moves, and it also increases the ratio size of your wins compared to losses over time. Of course, you know, a lot of people talk about win rate. Win rates, you know, it's an important thing to track and you should understand it, but people get caught up with a misunderstanding of what it actually is. I mean, you could have a 90% win rate and lose money if you're losing significantly more than you're winning. You know, so it's important to understand we need to minimize losses. This comes back to that risk avoidance earlier on. We're going to teach you how to do that. We're going to teach you how to actually reduce that size of your loss compared to your wins. Trailing stop, ingenious tactic that really enhances an already pretty impressive edge and turns that good system into a great system. All right. Lesson 10, this is where we teach you the intricacies of the system, such as what to expect under different market conditions, how to handle news, when to cancel pending orders. We get into what market session to trade in, much more. You know, it's really kind of the icing on the cake. James has been training traders, you know, for years now, and he's answered every question imaginable. I think I have too. I've been, you know, running the live rooms for James for about 3 years now, and I'm sure, you know, between the two of us, we've had every question that could be asked. So, you know, we address them in this final section of our training course here, because this way you have a solution before you even have to ask the question, right? So now I have to ask, you know, of course, what's all this worth to you? I would think that you probably understand if you've been to our site, maybe while I've been talking here, or looked us up, you probably know that we are one of, if not the most expensive Forex education sites on the planet. We are. That's by design. It's something we don't apologize for. We are extremely expensive, and we purposely charge a higher price for our services for the simple fact that we know that we can offer and do offer and do provide the best training that you're going to find out there on the planet, specifically for Forex. You know, and these are our actual numbers. We charge $20,000 a day for single-day consultation. We have folks that pay $3,500 just to have a conference call and answer a few questions over a couple of hours. Our training packages sell for $14,000 and higher. Mentoring packages start at $10,000 and go up into the $30,000 to $40,000 range. What you're getting today would be a 10-video lesson course consisting of almost 5 hours. And as you know, it's not unusual to see something like this sold for, you know, $200 to $500. So that's why I was asking what you think it's all worth to you. As a special concession for the Winvesting registrants today, we're going to throw in a whole lot more to help guarantee that you get everything that you need to be a successful trader. So in addition to those 10 video lessons, we're also going to throw in a 57-page ebook that summarizes the entire system into an easy reference format, and you know, gives you the ability to go back and just quickly, you know, refresh your memory about certain points that you may have studied in the guide. You also get an early entry indicator. It sits on your MT4 charts. It's just like the one that we've got on our website, but it actually pulls from your local MT4 data. That way, you don't have to you know, rely on your website connection or our web connection or anything else. It's pretty cool, and you know, it's kind of done for you. We also provide a trailing stop loss EA, and then of course we've got our currency strength tool. Oh, the entry indicator. I'm sorry. It also is a piece of the package that shows you how we can very quickly bracket in for our breakout strategy, if that's something that you'd like to use. So the currency strength tool, by the way, is an MT4 tool. So it runs on MT4. It's not, we don't have it for Ninja or TradeStation yet. We may in the future. We haven't over the few years. So, you know, understand that the currency strength tool, the indicator tool, the trailing stop loss EA, these are pieces, they're tools that run on MT4, which is one of the most widely used Forex trading platforms out there. So anyway, what is that worth to you? I mean, I'm sure you're expecting us to say something like 197 or 87 or something of that nature. Actually, you're going to be able to get all of this for 997. And we do that because we want to give. We want to make sure that traders are getting the right education and making better decisions when they're trading. That's huge for us. Obviously, we do that because down the road, as you get to know us and get to see what we trade and how we trade and can be comfortable with who we are, obviously down the road, we hope that you sign up for something greater. But this is a great way with a really, really low barrier of entry to learn about how Forex actually works, learn about currency strength analysis, and learn a method that you can start applying right away to help become a better trader. So I know without a doubt that we can show anyone who's willing to pay attention, willing to stand on their own 2 feet, how they can achieve success in the Forex market. We know that we can do that. But obviously, we're used to having guarantees, so to make this the easiest decision we've ever made, we're going to shoulder all the risks so you literally can't lose. If you order this 10-video package, the 10-day training kit right now, put it to the test. If you're not happy, if you don't like it, we don't want to hold you hostage. We don't hold your $10 hostage. If you're not happy for any reason, just ask for your money back before the course is completed. We refund you in full, no questions asked, no hassle, no delay. You even get to keep all the bonuses. You get to keep all the tools that we provide to you. So all you have to do, just ask us for a refund, and bang, that's the guarantee to you. We know it works. We absolutely know the method is applicable to every strategy that's out there, with Forex trading, and we know that you can make it work as long as you're willing to do the work and put in the effort to learn about currency strength trading and do that bit of homework. So take it up now. This is available for Winvesting subscribers. CompleteCurrencyTrader.com/Winvesting, and go ahead. It's only going to be up for the duration of today, and we'll keep it up through the replay as well. So probably the mid part of next week. But don't delay. Take action. Action takers get the rewards, and that's what you've done today. You took action to be on the webinar today. You took action to learn. Hopefully, you've been taking notes so that you have some good things to work from. I'm going to pop over and see if I can get the chat box up, and I will paste in these links for you. I promised I would give you a link on our website to. Let me just get over here. I promised I'd give you a link on our website to our tools, so I'll do that. Let me just put this on here for you. I'll paste this into chat. Looks like Dan already pasted in the link. I'll paste this into chat for you. So there's just our regular tools page, and if you want the currency strength tool specifically, if you haven't already found that on our website, here's this link that goes right to the strength indicator. And then, of course, to take advantage of this offer today, for only $9.97, I didn't get the HT. Go ahead and take advantage there. It's really an awesome deal. So I know we've got a little bit of time right now. I've still got about 11 minutes, so I would love to go ahead and answer some of the questions. There's quite a few coming in. I had minimized that as I was talking so I wouldn't get too distracted. So let's have a look. Howard, you're only the second person in years that has explained trading Forex by picking individual currencies. Awesome. Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, it's really, when you think about the market and what it is, it's the most logical way to look at currency trading. It really is, and it gives you that full view of the marketplace. So often, it's just trading one individual pair chart. You start trading, and you're kind of waiting for something to happen, which, I guess ultimately we're always waiting for something to happen when we're trading. We're waiting for the right setup. We're waiting for the best market conditions to occur. But if we're focused on one chart, we're only seeing 3.5% of the full market. So something could be happening if we're focused on the USD yen, and that's all we're trading. We're missing what's happening everywhere else. We're missing trades on the Aussie yen, we're missing trades on the CAD Swiss, we're missing trades, just name it, just pick another pair. If we're not looking at the full market, we're missing opportunity, right? How do you work the breakout strategy? How do you work the breakout? Asked. Well, you're gonna we go over that in the kit, obviously, but what we're doing is we're looking at the market open, and we're basically drawing a quick hit breakout on there. We're looking at the currencies that are moving. Like we had explained earlier, we're looking at which currencies are moving, which ones pushing stronger, which ones are pushing weaker as we're coming into that new market session. And then we're just going to look for a quick pop, right? We want to see the currencies that have got some momentum behind them. So we might just simply put, some lines on our chart 10 pips above where that open is, 10 pips below where that open is, and then look for a breakout on that. And obviously, we'd be looking for it to go the direction of where that trend is as we're coming into that new market session. And we go into that in detail in our kit. Obviously, it's only $10. What's $10? And we go into significant detail on how to actually do that. If you trade the daily time frame, what's the best setting, or how many periods should one use on the currency strength indicator? Good question, William. That's really going to depend. I'm sorry, my throat's starting to get a little bit dry. What you're gonna look at is when you're trading longer time frames. I'm just gonna talk about this kind of because I'm a short-term guy. I'm a 5-minute chart kind of guy. I'm in and out. I'm closed all positions, as I'm exiting my day. So ultimately, what you're gonna look at would be, I would say, when folks ask me that question, would be to set it kind of similarly to how you might consider using like a moving average. Think about what length of time is most relevant or most important to you when you're trying to trade. So how far in the past is relevant to influence that trading decision for you. So if you're saying like, hey, maybe the last 6 bars are the best for me, 6 daily bars, then you might set the indicator to have a look back of 6, look back of 10, probably good, just to give you an idea of what's going on there. But it still absolutely applies. Where did you lose that English accent? Well, Val, I'm Brian. I'm not James. So I've never had one. I've never had that. I'm a Southern boy. I guess I am now. I've kind of been all over the place, but we're living in Texas now, Southern Texas. But yeah, that's why you don't hear the accent, because it's not James, it's actually Brian. I run the live training rooms for our advanced members, so we do some sessions a couple times a week for our more advanced members that are into our full kit, and we talk about the markets, what's going on, how things are working, and really kind of deep dive in to how to use the how to use it. What's in the package? Is it the basic stuff like what is a pip? Okay, so it's not down to that level of basic as to what is a pip, but it's the basics as to, as I mentioned, how Forex works, what moves the market, what we should be looking at when we're getting ready to trade, and then kind of gives us those criteria for how to find a trading opportunity that has the best opportunity to move in your favor. Right, so it's not down to the very, very, very basics of what is a pip, but there's a great site called Baby Pip for that. If you really wanted to learn I guess we assume that there's some level of Forex knowledge, but so we don't drill down all the way to that level. But it's more around dispelling some of the myths about how Forex works and whatnot. Now, how important is internet speed in trading Forex? I've seen some platforms. Yeah, John. It's important. I mean, you don't want to go have gaps in your trading. It's definitely important. If you're worried about tick-to-tick data, you might consider moving to longer time frames where that instant entry isn't as important. So I mean, it's important. You need to have it. But as far as if you're what the big boys talk about when they're trying to get a block closer to to the when you're trading futures, for example, trying to get the guy with the biggest data stream and the one closest to the exchange has the best opportunity to get their orders filled. It's not down to that level, but most internet speeds around the world are fine. I traded. Like I mentioned, we lived in Costa Rica for a couple of years, on and off, and down there the internet wasn't the fastest. It was probably 4 or 5 megs, and I had no issues in trading. Never had an issue. Let's see what else we have here. Real quick question. Someone asked about, is this a physical kit that's delivered to my house? No, it's a digital course. So I know we show binders, we show CDs and whatnot. These are actually from our advanced course. We use that kind of as a placeholder. It's hard to visualize what you're going to get, so we put a picture up. This is actually a digital course that's delivered online in our secure members area, so it's not a physical package that's sent to your house. What happens is when you place your order for the $10, you get an email that says thank you and it welcomes you to the course, and then at that time, the system starts putting you in and enabling your access. So then, anywhere from instantly to maybe half an hour later, you get an email with your login details and your very first lesson. And then after that, a new lesson is sent the following day, and the following day, and the following day over a 10-day period. And we do that in bite-sized chunks. We do it so that you actually have a chance to gather the information and digest it and understand it. We have traders sometimes that come in and go, "Hey, I'm an advanced trader. Just cut to the chase. I want the indicator right now." We don't do that, and the reason we don't do that is because you're not doing yourself any favors. If you don't actually go and you don't spend some time learning how the market works, and really understanding what moves the market and how you're, where you kind of fit in to the grand scheme of things, you're not doing yourself any favors for learning. You've got to start with the basics. So that's why we deliver it over 10 days in those bite-sized chunks. But it is all digital. It is all online. Do I accept PayPal? We don't accept PayPal, unfortunately. Obviously I have to. We're going to send a PayPal to that first person that answered the question, Gus, but we don't take PayPal through this, so no, it's not possible to pay through PayPal. Do you look at daily and 1 hour for the trend, or just trade off of 5 minutes, David? Well, I use our more advanced method, so I'm looking at actually a few different things. I'm looking at multiple periods of currency strength, and I'm comparing them to one another in order to make my trading decision. But that's a more advanced method. What you're going to learn in our introduction kit here is exactly what you need to start using currency strength, start applying it, and using that basic kind of breakout method in order to start seeing consistency. Then from that, start building on it. But we need to get you in to understand the basics of trading currency strength first, and then build from that. Another question was, is this any kind of an ongoing subscription? No, it's not. It's $10, where there's no hidden fees, no trial stuff, anything of that nature. It's our way of introducing you to something that's, for 98% of you, is something you've never heard of before. So it's our way of introducing you to the concepts of Forex trading that we feel like need to be paid attention to, and what you need to actually use in order to be successful over the long term. So we do that introduction at a very low price. And like I mentioned before, it's because we genuinely want traders to understand how the markets work and how they can be successful. It's kind of a give, right? If we can give you something at a very low cost, very low barrier of entry, and train you to do something very well and become consistent, then our hope is that down the road that you'll join us for something more advanced. Whether you do or not, that's fine. We've actually, there's a fellow that I talk to frequently about our introduction course, and is killing it just with what he learned off of the introduction course, and he doesn't want to do anything else, and that's fine. We want to give you as much information as we can to make you a better trader with a very low barrier of entry, and that's what we've done. But there's no hidden anything on the back of this, no rebills or auto charges or any of that crap. Can you trade the yuan? You could. We don't look at it as one of the 8 majors right now, so we don't. I hit the physical CDs. No, it's all in a members area. Can this be applied to stocks? No, this is strictly for Forex, Dave. So we're looking at how the Forex market works, and we're making our trading decisions by looking at those fundamental values of each major currency, and then finding the currencies with the strongest trends to pair together. So I'm not sure how we could apply that to the stock market. All right. Alex, the cost of being in the trade room with us. Our trade room, it's a live training room. We trade, but we also talk about fundamental Forex subjects, and it's part of our advanced kit for our advanced numbers. It's not even something to even consider right now. It's at this point, and obviously I know that sounds kind of weird. I'm saying, hey, I don't want to talk to you about our advanced stuff. I would love to, but I'd really rather, if this is your first introduction to us, to get the basics. Get the $10 course, spend $10 and learn about what Forex is and how to trade it, and then build from there down the road. That's the best way to really go. All right, John, it's real time. The currency strength indicator on our website is real time. Okay. Broker, a lot of great brokers out there. We don't stick to any one specific one. But guys, I'm out of time. I think Dan's, I can hear him getting the hook ready for me. So I'm going to go ahead and get off here. I want to be respectful of our next presenters. So I'm going to go ahead and end it here. We've got, so if you go to the chat box, you can find our free tools on our website, as well as the link to download to get started rather with our 10-lesson course. All right, so I hope you guys got something out of that. I don't think I was too long-winded on anything. I think we got you the details that you needed so you can learn and start becoming successful in the Forex markets. All right, so I will turn it back over to Dan, and you guys all have a great day. Thanks for taking time to invest in yourself today. That's a really, really big deal. There's some great presenters coming up with some additional incredible information. So make sure you're taking good notes, and you'll come away from this as a much more educated and more empowered trader.